Ladies and gentlemen, the clock is ticking. The countdown is underway for the big Maharashtra results. As we wait, there are 3 new exit polls that have entered the fray. And if you take them into account, then it looks like the BJP-led alliance, that is the Mahayuti, will be in a position to form the government. Over the next 20 minutes or so, ladies and gentlemen, 3 of India's biggest pollsters with their neck in the game will be defending their predictions right here on Mirror Now. Yashwant Deshmukh of Seawater, who's predicting a dead heat in Maharashtra. Then we have the others as well. We have Pradeep Gupta joining us on the broadcast. So is GVC Sriram. But first, let's start with the numbers. With Seawater, Yashwant, you are predicting 112 for the Mahayuti and 104 for the Maha Vikas Agadi and 11 for others. 61 seats are too close to call, you say. The vote share being predicted for the Mahayuti is 41% and for the Maha Vikas Agadi is 40%. Your data is also saying that more women have voted for the Mahayuti than for the Maha Vikas Agadi. Then Pradeep Gupta is joining us as well. Axis My India is giving a landslide win to the Mahayuti with 178 to 200 seats. 145, ladies and gentlemen, is the halfway mark, which means this is a very comfortable win. The Maha Vikas Agadi, according to Pradeep Gupta, should manage 82 to 102 seats. Then, again, it was only yesterday that today's Chanakya has put out its numbers. Again, pretty much in keeping with the Axis My India numbers. They are predicting a big win for the BJP-led alliance in the state with 178 to 200 seats. According to them, the Congress front will manage about 82 to 102 seats. Now, given the fresh polls, and I will for the moment keep Yashwant's numbers out of it for the moment, the poll of polls then adds up to some very good news for the Mahayuti with only 6 months, which only 6 months ago actually had suffered a major setback in the Lok Sabha elections, winning only 17 seats, while the Maha Vikas Agadi had 30. Quickly going to the pollsters this evening, Yashwant Deshmukh, thank you very much. Thank you very much for joining us. Pradeep Gupta, thank you very much for joining us. And JVC Sriram joining us in the studio. Thank you very much. JVC, I didn't put your numbers out because they came almost 48 hours ago. But your numbers have given a very comfortable win to the BJP-led front with 150 to 167, right? The Congress plus, you're saying, is in a position not to form the government under any circumstances, 107 to 125.
Correct.
And to the others, you have given 13 to 14.
Right.
Please defend your poll.
No, there is no question of defending. We have given what we have heard from the people. What we have heard from the people, what we have seen on the ground right from June 2024, because I have been doing my analysis and ground reports, not just yesterday or day before yesterday. It's been from June, end of June of 2024. So this is what is the people's mandate is. And even day before yesterday, I had said, yesterday also I had reiterated, when in Times Now they asked me, do you want to change the numbers? I said, I'm not going to change the number because I believe that Mahayuti will minimum hit 150. I would not be surprised if they go past 167 because that's the reason why I was not, very much, panicked when I saw Axis number, Pradeep Gupta's number.
Correct.
Because he was saying that it may go beyond 160. But my feeling is every seat beyond 165 will be a very tough battle. The margins will be too thin. So that's the reason why, see, the indication is that Latur, let me give an example of Latur seat. Latur city, I thought probably BJP was swinging with Dr. Archana there against the Deshmukh family member, but felt that probably she has a huge job to do, which they may not be able to cover. So as a result of which, a lot of swing seats, I had given it to the Maha Vikas Agadi, and still we are getting at 150 to 167.
So can I ask you, you're telling me that when you went to the ground, it was exactly a month after the Lok Sabha election results?
Exactly.
What has changed?
Everything has changed.
What? In 1 month, how much can change? If you started your survey 1 month, 1 month after the election, where the Maha Vikas Agadi has got 30 and the Mahayuti
Correct.
has got 17.
So let's understand one thing.
What changes?
Let's understand one thing first and foremost. The parliament leads will show as if that the Maga Vikas Agadi had got 30 Lok Sabha seats. But when you look at the assembly segments, the gap was 126, 127 to Mahayuti and 152, 153 to Maga Vikas Agadi. As a result of which, what happened, there were some seats where demographically, probably NDA was at a disadvantage because of a huge Muslim population in one or two seats like Malagon Central, Anushakti Nagar, Mankur Shivaji Nagar, Mumba Devi. I can go on. The list is. So my first understanding was to go to the ground and understand why Maga Vikas Agadi was able to get those kind of votes. And I was able to understand that analysis. Now, post-August, because I think BJP had taken this election very seriously. When I say very seriously, I think they had decided that come what may, we are losing this election, so we should do whatever is possible to ensure that we'll win. And that is the reason why 1,500 scheme was launched. It is not the question of giving money to women, but the way it was carried out. You go to a place like Pimpri, and the contesting MLA now, his sister-in-law is the MLA, sitting MLA. But he had organized a 25,000 women mela. Likewise, and registrations. There was a kind of a celebration out there.
So you're sticking with your numbers, and what you're also saying is that the Ladki Behan Yojana is the one thing that has changed between then and now.
No. So Ladki Behan Yojana was a starting point. After that, RSS came into play in Vidarbha. Okay, Marathwada, the effect is little lesser. So I'm not saying that soybean farmers are delighted now, cotton farmers are dancing their way. No, there is distress. But the point is, the mistakes, you have to see both the sides. What are the blunders committed by the Maga Vikas Agadi? 2 months they went into the negotiations, talks. And more importantly, what is the strike rate of Shiv Sena from 1990 to 2019 in assembly election? The maximum Shiv Sena, undivided Shiv Sena touched strike rate was 44.44. And their vote share has never crossed 19.93. And if those papers were there with the Congress party, they would not have given the seats which they gave in Vidarbha.
Okay.
Some in Marathwada too.
Okay. So you're saying there are some seats that were too close to call. In fact, C voter Yashwant Deshmukh, you're joining us on the broadcast as well. We are putting out the numbers of your exit poll as well. You have said 61 seats are too close to call. You are essentially predicting a dead heat with an edge to the BJP-led alliance at 112, the Congress at 104. Can I ask you why you decided to delay your exit poll by a day? And is putting 61 seats in the too close to call bracket, are you playing it safe, Yashwant Deshmukh?
No, Shreya. I have not been playing safe. I have been saying this for last 28 years of my professional career, that people need to be educated. The real thing is the vote share. Science of exit poll starts and stops at vote share calculation. After that, seat share extrapolation is just a fluke. Nothing else, nothing more, nothing less. Unless you are doing thousands and thousands of samples for each and every seat, with the kind of budget with only political parties can provide you, media houses do not provide that kind of budget. So if you are talking about the science of polling, science of exit polling, the exercise stops at the vote share assessment within the margin of error. And after that, the seat share projections are just mathematical extrapolation. We have been saying this for more than 2 decades. And we have put our foot down that, okay, if the media is not kind enough to understand and make people understand these things, then maybe we should just simply go ahead, stand up and say, these are the things which are not really within the science of polling and not really the scope of projection or scope of calling the seats, if I may say so. And we have done that this time. That's it. On your first question, why did we delay by a day? No, it is not a question of delaying it by a day. There was just too much of data to be collected, and generally it's the pressure of the media deadlines that you had to rush and go ahead and call the shots by 6 o'clock, 6:30 in the evening. We had the Jharkhand to discuss on that day, so we decided to take our time and do proper work the way it should be done, and come with the numbers next day when we have all the data in, rather than rushing it and leaving the numbers midway. In the last few hours, critical polling happened. As you just mentioned in your show, that the kind of turnout that went up, all those factors are important to understand, important to incorporate, and we still do not know, barring from outside Mumbai, what kind of female voters turnout factor has worked out. Election Commission hasn't given us the figures, So, and it's very important for us to understand, because Ladki Bahin scheme was aimed at female voters. In our numbers, we have seen that more females have voted for NDA than the Maharashtra Vikas Aghadi. So obviously, it is very important for us to know what kind of turnout differential that has come across from the female voters.
Okay, so you're telling me that we all concentrate on the number of seats, but it is actually vote shares that tell you which way an election has gone. And again, you're telling us that the vote share difference between the two big alliances in Maharashtra is 1%, much like it was in the Lok Sabha elections, right? The difference then was 1% as well. Can I ask you then, Yashwant Deshmukh, why you are predicting a dead heat? Is it correct for me to say that you're predicting a dead heat? Because for the BJP plus alliance, you're giving 112, and for the Congress plus alliance, you're giving 104. Why?
I'm not predicting a dead heat or any sort, because you see, the cumulative vote share at the state level is looking like very close, Freya. But the fact is that it is not a one single state election. Each region is behaving like a different state. So if you look into the vote share gaps projected by us for different regions, you will realize that there are huge gaps this way or that way. In Mumbai, Konkan, North Maharashtra, the NDA is leading by a significantly large gap. Similarly, the Maharashtra Vikas Aghadi is leading in Marathwada and in the Western Maharashtra region by a significant gap. It is only in the region of Vidarbha where it is coming out to be the close, and that's why you need to pay a lot of attention tomorrow in the seats from Vidarbha, because whoever will win Vidarbha will win Maharashtra. Don't be confused about that. The thing is, not all regions are close. There are regions where one way is leading and the other regions where the other party is leading. At the cumulative state level, it is looking like close. It's a very fascinating analysis to do. Having said that, it's important for us to understand that Maharashtra, always in the last 4 elections, there were at least 80 seats plus seats, which were touch and go, always. Minimum 80 seats were always there, which were touch and go. So obviously, when you have too many independent other rebels at play, these kind of seats will become difficult to analyze and difficult to know. But to answer your to answer your question and cut the long story short, the fact is, from the down of Lok Sabha election, NDA to make a comeback, make a contest out of it, and in fact get it to a situation where they are likely to make a government if the data goes in the same direction in the marginal seats as well, which we are predicting as marginals. It's a huge, huge turnaround, and the huge turnaround is by virtue of only 2 factors. Actually, I was listening to the other panelist. Unfortunately, I've never met him in person, but he made a brilliant point that there are 2 major factors. Number one, that the RSS ground organization with the BJP lagged in 2024 Lok Sabha, particularly in Maharashtra. I think they have done the course correction. They have gone back. And from the issues perspective, yes, in our exit poll, the Ladki Bahin scheme has come as the number 1 factor which has impacted the elections, overtaking the Shetkari Yojana and Shetkari schemes, basically agrarian crisis or agrarian impacts. So in the Lok Sabha election, the exit poll was showing that agrarian crisis was the number 1 issue. Now it has been pushed to number 2. So female scheme has become as number 1. Then we are looking at the better turnout of females. Now, take it in from me.
Correct.
If the female turnout, wherever the female turnout is more than the male turnout, that is advantage NDA. Wherever it is at par, it is going to be a close contest. Wherever the male turnout is more than the female turnout, it will be advantage opposition. So we do not know from the election commission data yet how it has played out.
We have got the numbers. Women numbers have come.
Women numbers have just come. Why don't you just quickly read through them, JBC, so that we can come to you in just
Men
a...
is 66.8 and women is 65.21.
66.8
Men. 65.21 is women.
65.21
is women.
is women. Okay.
And there are districts where women are a little more than men.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'm sure the jump
Go
of
ahead.
the
Do you want to make a point before I go to Pradeep Gupta?
jump of the turnout probably is more among the female. I mean, when you look into the change of turnout numbers, probably more the additional votes more are coming from the females, and that is where actually it has largely in the numbers collected from the ground for everyone that has given a flip to the Mahayuti rather than Mahayuti in the numbers in the survey numbers.
Okay. Can I quickly get in Pradeep Gupta as well? Pradeep Gupta, you have given in your poll numbers yesterday itself, which means, again, unlike most pollsters, you waited for a day. You are giving the BJP Plus Alliance 178 to 200, which means a clear sweep, a clean sweep. The Congress Plus Alliance at 82 to 102, and others between 6 to 12. Why do you think this is happening? What do you think that the BJP Plus Alliance or the Mahayuti Alliance has got so right in the last 6 months? And how is it and where is it that the Congress-led alliance messed up?
So there are two, three things. First, all our other two panelists have spoken about Ladki Behan Yojana, and BJP is, NDA is securing sizable 4 percentage points lead in female segment than the male segment of their vote share in our poll as well. So that's one. Number two is that when you compare with the Lok Sabha 24 and now, what had changed? The significant and substantial change has been in the demography of caste, which is Dalit, Adivasi, and to some extent in Marathas as well. The Dalit in our poll, 11 percentage points has gained by the NDA from MBA for Dalits, and for Adivasis 15 percentage points, which is significant turnaround as far as these two demography is concerned. And mind you, one more very important thing, these two are the decisive demography, particularly in case of Vidarbha, where the highest number of seats are there, which is 62 out of 288 in the state. So I would say these are the 2 to 3 factors. And of course, this is something which cannot be spoken by the respondent on the ground about the BJPs or the RSS and all those things. Of course, they must have worked hard to get the voters to the polling booth, which was not the case in Lok Sabha. We can easily see that. And 5 percentage voter turnout increase is a substantial number, and we have been told that bulk of them female voters, incremental female voters has been more than the male one. So these are the 3-4 reasons. And in our poll, the vote share percentage, unlike Yashwant's number, which is 41 to 40, the 1 percentage gap, in our case it is 11 percentage gap between NDA and MBA, 48 to NDA and 37 to Agadi, meaning 11 percentage gap. And that is the precisely reason why you see our seat tally is getting into the range of 178 to 200 seats for NDA.
It's very interesting. The same election, the same number of voters, but Yashwant's analysis seems to suggest that the difference in the vote share between the two major alliances is 1%. And your analysis and your data seems to suggest that the difference in vote share between the two alliances is 11%. A quick word, JVC, on the fact that this Maharashtra saw the maximum voter turnout in 30 years. This was the largest and most substantial voter turnout in the last 30 years. The increase is about 3 to 4%. Who does it benefit? Now, Yashwant is saying, mark my words, it benefits the BJP-led alliance. All that is very well to say, but the other side says it could also be a mark of people coming out to vote because they are fed up, because of anti-incumbency.
See, normally an increase in voter turnout would indicate that it is more of an anti-incumbency. But this seems to be a very peculiar election because if you look at 2024 Lok Sabha elections, everybody assumed that, okay, fine, they're saying 400, BJP is going to win, Modi is going to come the third term, Ram Mandir, and all. That's the reason why RS is also not working on the ground as much as they would have probably liked to. So when
No,
I look
RSS
at...
was also upset.
Was
For
upset
all the
for what?
utterances,
Yeah,
for taking
yeah.
tainted netas into
Yeah.
the BJP right
Yeah.
before the elections,
So
etc.
what happened was, if I look at it, this particular time, the voter turnout which is increased probably should be benefiting BJP. Because let me look at one thing, the Nanded bypoll. If I look at Nanded bypoll, the turnout has been increased in those seats where BJP is at an advantage. The increase has been substantial. In Nanded North and South, it's not substantial. It is okay, but not the kind of exponential range which you see in the other four seats. So when I look at it, because I got Malad West booth-wise data or ward-wise data, and what they're saying is the wards where the BJP probably led in the past, those were the places where the turnout has increased reasonably. And other places, not much. And also, let's take it, I think minorities voted maximum in 2024. They came out. So the scope of increase in minority vote percentage is very limited. But it is a majority Hindu community who probably sat back at home and who will probably come back to vote. It could be a guilt vote, it could be a revenge vote, you can call whatever you want to call. Okay, but I believe that there is a vote, the vote increase, turnout increase is going to benefit Mahayuti more than Maga Vikas Akadi.
Pradeep Gupta, would you want to come in? The 3 to 4% increase is, correct me if I'm wrong, about 28 to 30 lakh more votes?
More than that.
More than that?
60 lakh votes.
60 lakh votes, is it? Okay. Yeah, so JVC is telling me it's about 60 lakh votes. Who does it benefit? And do we know who these increased voters are? Are they Hindus? Are they Muslims? Who are they?
No,
because a lot will depend on that.
It cannot be 60 lakhs vote if it is the voter, if the total voter is, of course, electors is about 8 to 9 crore, but if even 6 crore voter turnout, then 10% of the 6 crore is, 60 lakhs. So it cannot be 60 lakh for sure. Now coming to whom it is benefited to, in last 10 to 15 years, we have seen, in fact, last 10 years to be precise, most of the time when there is a voter turnout is more, it has favored the BJP. And the reason is very simple. The kind of demographic alignment BJP had among the OBCs and general class. They are the one, they are reluctant and generally they don't do, in comparison, of course. In comparison, they don't come to vote in large numbers. And I'm in Mumbai, I voted yesterday. Learning from the Lok Sabha, there was a good amount of heat, the weather condition I am talking about. Then mobile policy, you cannot carry the mobile inside the room. So last time we have witnessed, in fact, I was also about to go back to home without casting the vote. The moment I saw where do I keep my mobile, because my car was driving, so what to do? So that was the two. Then this time ECI has made arrangement in societies. Yesterday the Times of India has given the headline that as high as 95% of those society where this polling booth were there has casted their vote. So these are number 3. Number 4 is that RSS, then BJP cadre, they cannot afford to lose this election for sure. So whatever way they can bring the voters to the polling booth, they have done so. And demographically, it is advantage to BJP over the 10 years. I can easily see that. The incremental voter turnout has always helped BJP, whether it is incumbent or challenger, that doesn't matter.
Okay, so the increased vote share actually adds up to about 30 lakh people, 30 lakh more voters. Yashwant Deshmukh, very quickly to you, because Pradeep Gupta has just spoken about voting in Mumbai. The data you have given is granular data. You have given it region-wise. You have divided it up into 5 regions. Mumbai is a region that you have looked at. In Mumbai, the numbers are interesting. You're giving 17 to the NDA, which is led by the BJP, and only 10 to the India Alliance. What happened? This is a big setback for Uddhav Thackeray, who many said actually ruled the MMR region.
Yeah, Mumbai, as
What's
we
changed?
understand, is no more the Mumbai of the past. You know, the demography has changed. It is not just a Shiv Sena bastion; it is the BJP bastion as well. Please do not forget that in the previous municipality election, when everybody was contesting on their own, BJP actually got 80 seats, 4 seats short of Shiv Sena. You know, they were at par with them, and that too was a Shiv Sena which was undivided. Now with the divided Sena, obviously there are things to be gonna be going south as such. So yeah, I mean, it's demographically speaking, Mumbai is a BJP stronghold. Make no mistake about it. It is no more the Shiv Sena stronghold. Yeah, Shiv Sena is not going to. I mean, Uddhav Thackeray might not like to hear this, but the fact remains that, you know, after the split in his party, furthermore, it has tilted towards the BJP. Number one. Number two, the number of non-Marathi voters in Mumbai, in number of the seats that they control now is much more than
Correct.
the Marathi Manus seats in Mumbai. That's the fact number two. Also, the religious things come and play. Yes, Samajwadi Party has been strong on a couple of pockets, and the Muslim voters have now started voting for Uddhav Thackeray. But at the end of the day, if the turnout has gone up and female turnout, and Shriyamji, I probably read the data from Election Commission and I was comparing it with the Lok Sabha election turnout, it seems that the jump of the male turnout is 3%, while the jump of the female turnout is 6%. Now, that is like every one additional male that has come out, there are 2 females who have come out. You know, and that's a big number. That's a heck of a big number, which puts everything in a different perspective. Now, of course, this is state-wise data, but of course, within the state, the regional variations would be there. Within the regions, there would be variation within the districts. Now, from the turnout itself, my team has sent me another interesting angle that 11 of the districts, you know, from Akola, Amravati, Aurangabad, Baldana, Hingoli, Jalgaon, Jalna, Latur, Nanded, Parbani, and Washim, these particular states which have a good combination of Bhim, if you say Muslim voters plus Dalit voters, the now both the voters, which are traditionally the voters of the opposition. These districts have seen a higher than average increase of turnout. So it's not just a male-female thing. It's not just about the female going out and coming and supporting the BJP on its own. It's also about the higher turnout of the minorities, also higher turnout of the Dalits. This is why the reported increase in turnout in rural areas is more than the urban areas. Now, all these things make it a fascinating analysis. I understand, but you will appreciate, Shreya, all this also kind of complicates the things for anybody to analyze what is going to happen and say this is definitely. This is why we must look into all these details.
We can all, I think, safely say, okay, we can't right now safely say who's winning or who's losing. We've just put out exit poll data, although at least 2 gentlemen here on the panel seem to be very sure who Maharashtra is going to. But the fact is, we can safely say this is probably one of the most complex elections India has seen in a very long time. We'll see what the results are tomorrow. Thank you everyone for joining us. Good to have you on the show. Ladies and gentlemen, with that, it's a wrap. But news and updates continue right here. Do stay with us.